So hello friends. So this is a small little video on mini tracheostomy. So I'm sure not many would have been very familiar with this procedure. So obviously percutaneous tracheostomy is something that we all do quite often. And I think I had uploaded a video on percutaneous tracheostomy under bronchoscope before. So this would be the procedure series. So in other words, we usually call this as cricothyroidotomy as an emergency airway, but in ICU parlance, we call it as a mini tracheostomy, mainly for tracheal toileting, not for airway establishment. So that is the little difference in nomenclature when we talk about mini tracheostomy. So I need to acknowledge my other colleague, Dr. Raghavendra Kotal, who helped me to do this video. So the indications for this mini track is mainly, as I said, is in a situation where we need to have effective tracheal toileting where cough reflex is lost. So we have multiple conditions where cough reflex may be lost, predominantly in patients elderly with advanced Parkinson's or dementia, or someone who is intubated for a long time who has lost his cough reflex. So these are situations where they are not able to clear secretions, and this is a where nasopharyngeal airway also may have failed. So these are the patients where sometimes they benefit from this mini tracheostomy. So it could be traumatic brain injury or strokes where cough reflex is weak or lost. And typically it could be the brainstem infarcts which typically need this mini track. And there where the GCS is good, so you don't need a definitive airway to protect their airway. What they only need is a good tracheal toileting to keep the airway intact and not to have aspiration or advanced Parkinson's, as I said. And sometimes we have used in palliative where family says they would not want tracheostomy. So they just want the voice to be preserved and only the secretions to be taken care of. So these are all some of the situations where we do consider mini tracheostomy. Or sometimes we use the set that we use for this for emergency cricothyroidotomy for emergent airway establishment before definitive sort of airway can be secured. So as a extreme situation, we can use this for cricothyroidotomy for airway access. But predominantly in ICU setting, we use this as an elective procedure for tracheal toileting. So the set typically was initially it used to be made by Cook and it used to come like this, but now they've changed the set. So it used to come with a guide wire. So you see this is the guide wire and this is the mini dilator and this is the introducer nude needle into which the guide wire is passed. So it used to be like tracheostomy where we put this introducer needle and through which a guide wire is passed and then a small dilator is used to create a pathway and then the mini tracheostomy tube, the blue one, which is loaded over a thing, is passed in. So now the whole set has changed. So you don't get this guide wire now. So I'll just show you the video. You will understand. We only get a inserted dilator on which a tracheostomy, mini tracheostomy tube is passed. So the landmarks are extremely important. So the mini tracheostomy, the tube is generally passed in this cricothyroid membrane, which comes between the thyroid cartilage and cricoid cartilage. As you see, when we do tracheostomy, we do the procedure in the first or second tracheal ring, but here you do it much above. So in that way, the voice is very much preserved. Patient can talk. So that is a distinct advantage of mini tracheostomy or proper tracheostomy, where the voice is preserved and you don't need a patient to have been intubated to do this procedure. Patient will be spontaneously breathing. So when you look in a from the anatomical surface point of view, so you would see the cricothyroid membrane between two ridges. So the most prominent one would be thyroid cartilage. So you would slid your finger down this thyroid cartilage. You will get a little bit of a dip, and you would have a sort of a surface where you can push it in a little bit, and before that and below that would be a cricoid cartilage. So there'll be two sort of cartilages. In between that you will see a small space, and see, as you see in this young individual, this space may be quite distinctly marked, but in elderly people it is sometimes this space is very narrowed down, and the cricothyroid membrane can be quite calcified, and it may not be soft enough for you to indent your finger down. So it may not be that clear cut, especially in elderly. So we have to go by the hard cartilaginous surface and a relatively less harder surface between the thyroid and cricoid cartilage. So in elderly, the point I'm trying to make is the cricothyroid membrane may be slightly calcified, and you may have some resistance in inserting the mini tracheostomy tube. So when we are doing the procedure, the first thing is to ascertain the landmark. So we palpate the thyroid cartilage with the left hand and try to have a clarity on the landmarks. And when we're doing this procedure, like any other tracheostomy, there are major vessels passing around this area. So the risk of bleeding is always there. So generally, when you look at the videos, the recommendation is you make a vertical slit and then dilate and pass the cricothyroidotomy or mini tracheostomy tube. But if we are confining ourselves to blunt dissection, a small horizontal incision with blunt dissection is the way to go. But we need to be very wary and make sure that there are no vessels on the way. So we have done many mini tracheostomies. I still remember we had one patient which bled quite profusely because of one of the major aberrant vein that was coming on the midway. So one has to be very careful while doing this mini tracheostomy, which is a very simple procedure, but if you hit a blood vessel, it can create a little bit of a mess. So that is something we need to keep in mind. So once you make an incision, so right now, as I said, the way mini tracheostomy set comes is the single sort of a dilator. So you pass the dilator down into that space between the thyroid cartilage and the cricoid cartilage. And once the dilator is passed, we pass the mini tracheostomy tube over the dilator. So it is as simple as that. So I'll show you the video. You'll understand how we do it in our ICU. So this is the video. So it is around 3 to 4 minutes video. You can just have a look. So this is the set as you see. So currently you have this mini tracheostomy tube which is put over the loader. So basically here you are seeing trying to ascertain the landmarks and you are doing local infiltration. And whilst we are doing local infiltration, we do make sure that there is air bubbles that you get after you infiltrate to make sure that you are in the right plane and there is no major blood vessels coming on the way. So that is also very important. We can call this as a seeker needle. Whilst you're inserting, you put it into the airway and pull out to see if air bubbles are coming and make sure there is no major veins on the way. So then you make a small incision. So this particular scalpel, you would get it in the set. So you make an incision and sometimes you can even make a stab so that there is a pathway created for the dilator to be passed. And you will see a stab will be done at the cricothyroid membrane. And a little bit of dilatation, skin dilatation could be done to make sure that it passes in more easily. Generally, skin dilatation may not be needed, but sometimes we do to just ensure there is no major blood vessel in the way, so that there is no bleeding when we put in the scalpel and create a stab there. Okay, so you see there is a little bit of oozing as you would see. So it's always good to do little bit of a blunt dissection and feel that cricothyroid membrane so that you're more confident whilst you are inserting the dilator. So after we do this, see in elderly patients, membrane can be calcified. So sometimes pricking with the needle also can be difficult. So we tried to see this. This was an elderly patient with advanced Parkinson's dementia, where we are doing this mini tracheostomy for mainly tracheal toileting, and you could see passing the needle can be a little tricky because it appears quite calcified. It almost appears like a cartilage. So that's a little bit of a challenge in elderly. See, you can see that air bubbles coming in. So we are in the right plane. Patient is breathing well and there is only patient is on oxygen. See, now you see the scalpel being used to create a stab. See, you see a nice stab being done so that the pathway is created. And this is the dilator that you would pass through the rent that you have created, and that goes into the airway. So it's a dilator or introducer towards the carina. So you can see. And over the introducer, you are passing the mini tracheostomy tube. So it's a very simple procedure, but you see there is quite a bit of bleeding. So that's why it's terribly important that we make sure there is no major vessel. We give good local anesthesia with adrenaline and then we do a little bit of blunt dissection to make sure there is no major vein. Then you make a stab. After you make a stab, you put in an introducer, and over the introducer, you pass the mini tracheostomy. So very simple procedure, but extremely useful in elderly patients where you have huge difficulty in clearing their secretions and patients may be drowning in the secretions. So mini tracheostomy has really saved many lives and more as a palliative procedure where family is also happy that there is no gurgly sounds and patient is having good adequate tracheal. See, after the procedure, it is important to look at the monitor to see everything is okay, and it is important after the procedure, you do a good suctioning using a suction catheter to make sure that it is in the airway and suctioning is adequate. And after that, the mini track is secured with a strap around the neck. And it is important that we get an X-ray after that to make sure that the mini tracheostomy tube is nicely secured in the within the airway. So that's about it. So thank you very much. So this is a simple procedure which I know not many would be doing, but it is a very valuable procedure, especially for elderly or in any patient where your whole purpose is to have adequate and effective tracheal toileting so that they don't aspirate and develop pneumonia. So thank you all. You can visit my website www.drpradeepnagapur.com to relook at this procedure. So thank you all.